What is going on, guys? My name is Jacob with Team Regulars Airsoft, and today we're going to be talking about a basic communications setup, what radio to choose from, what accessories to choose from the radio, what output and input devices we're going to be talking about, and just the all-around basics of starting a basic communications setup in Airsoft. So, first we're going to start off with the radio itself. The radio I run is a Baofeng UV5R. It is the best bang for your buck. You can get it on Amazon for about $40. You can get it set up like this on Amazon. It comes in a bundle, but it would cost a little bit more. Mine costed maybe about $50 with the antenna and the extended battery. But it's worth it because the extended battery, not only does it charge fast, which you would think it wouldn't because it's a bigger battery, but it also adds about, give or take, 3 days to your radio life. I left this thing on one time and forgot to turn it off, and it lasted pretty much like 3 days. It was literally astonishing. The reason I chose a aftermarket antenna was because the stock antenna it's a really good antenna. It's pretty stiff and durable. You can get it caught on stuff and whatnot, and you don't have to worry about it snapping and whatnot. It's made out of this really durable, like rubber kind of coat, and it has a really good thick base to it, so you don't have to worry about it snapping at the core. But the reason I stuck away from that and went with a aftermarket antenna was that this not only adds about maybe another ½ an inch to the overall length of the antenna, giving you extended range, but it also has this flexible, it's also a lot more flexible, so you can slap it on stuff and not have to worry about it snapping. It's a lot skinnier. Let's say you don't like an antenna sticking out from your vest, and when you're getting into position to shoot your gun, you'll see your elbow get stuck on it. You can simply just tuck it into like a molly, or back into the radio, or you can even tape it around if you really want to, and it works just as good. So when it comes to range with the Baofeng, I haven't had any really big issues with range. I haven't really had a long enough testing area to where I can actually figure out how far this radio can actually extend. Obviously, if you get a longer antenna, you can get longer range, but apparently with the stock antenna, you can get about 10 miles. That's what they advertise, or that's what I see people saying online. But it really depends on what environment you're in. It obviously depends on if you're in an urban environment, if you're on flat land. So it really is up to the user, but with this style of antenna, and even with a stock antenna, you can have plenty of ranges you would like. So the reason I went with Baofeng compared to, let's say, Motorola, Cobra, any of those other radio companies, was because not only does this have frequencies, but it also has a mode for channel. It has a channel mode, so you can simply switch it over from frequency mode to channel mode, which makes it a lot easier to communicate with friends who, let's say, don't have a radio with frequencies. They just have channels. You can simply switch over to that, and then just by a press of a button, switch back to frequency mode. Also, another thing I like is that it has a 2 channel port, I guess you would call it, which means that, let's say you have a group of guys on one set frequency, but you also have another, like, let's say you have your squad on a frequency while you're playing, but you also have game control, or the headquarters where your commander's at, and you want to radio something in. You can simply set both frequencies, and you can bridge them by pressing one button. So let's say you're talking to your buddies on one, you need to hit up headquarters, you click the button again, and it goes over to headquarters frequency. So that's what I like about this radio. It has a flashlight. You can get the your local radios on here, for example. So that's what I like about it. You can lock controls. It has this really nice rubberized, number pad, kind of like a phone. And yeah, that's what I like about this radio. It's really versatile. It's really rugged. I've dropped this thing many times. The one problem about it is that it's water resistant. It's not waterproof. So let's say you're playing in the rain, you don't have to worry about it as much, but you can't fully submerge this in water. It will destroy it. So that's my one downside to this radio. Alright, so moving on to basic inputs and outputs, microphones and speakers and whatnot. Let's say you're tired of moving this up to your mouth and talking into it. You want to have that on the back of your rig, and you just want to have, let's say, you would just want to have a speaker mic, which is what I have here. This is what I use on it a majority of the time. This is a Code Red headset speaker mic. It's honestly one of the best I've ever had. It has this multiple position clip, so you can clip it on any position of your vest, your rig, your uniform, anything. It has a nice texturized, this whole piece right here is texturized. It has a nice rugged feel to it, so it's not slippery. It's not that smooth plastic. So this is honestly one of the best speaker mics I've had. It has this, what's good about this is that this cord is Kevlar reinforced, so it's pretty much cut resistant. It's not cut proof. I mean, you can still cut it, but you don't have to worry about it snagging on a branch and tearing when you're, let's say, going through the woods. It's waterproof, so you can submerge this, I think. I never tried it, and I really don't want to try it. It has these nice, really thick rubberized ends, so you don't have to worry about it fraying, this rubber fraying at the end. Right here, you don't have to worry about that fraying and wearing out on you. And this, compared to the one, this is the earpiece that the Baofeng, that it comes with the Baofeng. It's a good earpiece. I have buddies that run this and it works fine. It's just that it's not really that high quality. It's kind of like a phone piece, like you have those Apple earphone buds, and you can just talk into this. You press this button right here, you can talk into that. This is good for, a middle before you can upgrade to this. The only downside of this is that I've had people where they just break on them. Like, they don't even know why, they don't even know how. It just breaks. It just stops working. This cord is real flimsy. It looks like I can easily cut it with any tool. It does have the same rubberized ends, so it reduces fraying, but those are no use if the whole thing just stops working. It comes with this foam padding over the piece that goes in your ears, and it feels really thin, and it feels like if you have it in your ear long enough that your ear will start to ache, and that's very uncomfortable when you're playing airsoft. So that was just a short video about what basic comm setup I run. This is just my personal preference, and what I found so far works the best. I'm not saying to go out and buy this immediately. I'll put links in the description below to where you can find this for the best price. And yeah, so that pretty much concludes the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Team Regulars, and see you guys later.